Welcome to you, my name's Dayle, and this is Dayle's Addiction. This is another episode of Dayle Downloads, where I take a topic, an issue, or a suggestion that you have provided, and I download about it for less than 10 minutes. Today's video is about this concept of bag creep, and I guess, it's probably something I made up. Certainly my good friend Meredith from Living Lux with Meredith pointed it out to me when I mentioned it in a video a little while back. But bag creep, how I define it, is similar to lifestyle creep. The more money you have, the more your lifestyle engages in things that it wouldn't have done if you didn't have the income to support those things. For example, you might, indulge in more expensive clothing or more expensive education for your kids, or a more expensive vehicle, or move to a different suburb or a bigger house. Your lifestyle creeps, you get bigger. And I was referring to bag creep in one of my videos, as I said. I can't remember which one. And it's not going away, because I have to say I am going to be filming a video about my thoughts on luxury and my YouTube viewing. But what I have noticed that I wanted to mention in this video is that there's a lot more YouTube being recommended to me about low luxury. Steph from Handbag termed this phrase, I think, and she was talking about it in a recent video. I will link it below. But low luxury, so brands that are still deemed luxury, as in they have a high standard of design and materials, but they're not, higher levels of luxury. So she was speaking about Pollen, Mulberry, Aspinall of London, there was another one, I can't remember. And you might throw in a few other brands such as Kurt Geiger and Coach, and we're still looking in Australian dollars around $1,000 for a bag. Tory Burch, Kate Spade, so they're not cheap pieces. How does that relate to bag creep? Well, I'm not clicking on those videos. I'm not clicking on those videos because I don't operate with a mindset that I could get that same design of bag at a great quality for a cheaper price over here. It's not how my mind thinks. I'm actually thinking the opposite. I'm actually thinking, given this kind of part of my luxury collection journey, all of those things just make me cringe, that now when I think about, okay, I might need to get a backpack for the holiday that's coming up, that I will automatically look at luxury options. I don't even consider saying it's a backpack, it's for holidays, I'm probably only going to use it a handful of times, therefore I should choose something that is cost effective, that's for the purpose of the holiday, and I'll be okay if it gets damaged. I don't think about it like that anymore. And I think that is, a little concerning, I suppose, that I'm prepared to spend more money than I need to for something just because of its affiliation to a luxury house. But I also think it's very consistent with how lifestyle creep works. Is why do you choose private schooling over public schooling? Why do you choose private health over public health? Why do you choose to spend $1,000 on a green blazer as opposed to $250 on that same coloured green blazer from, a high street store? I think with bag creep, for me, it's very clear that what I used to think was expensive for a bag, I can now see justification in that price. It might be still unreasonable, but I can see how that price is justified by the house and where it sits across the whole, luxury genre of shopping. I can kind of work through my conflicts. I can't say that I have ever chosen a handbag based on the price of it. And that, again, could be concerning, or it could just be, an ugly truth, I guess, that I'm trusting that you, my viewers, you can understand where I'm coming from there, is that I don't say, well, here's a wicker bag and here's a wicker bag. This one is $5,000 and this one is $7,000. There's a few things that I like more about the $7,000 one than the $5,000 one, but it's $2,000. So I'm going to pick the $5,000 one. I just never make my decisions on that basis. I'll just say no. If $7,000 is too much, then I'm not buying the $7,000 one, and I'm not buying the $5,000 one because I didn't want to spend $7,000. Does that make sense? I can give you a running example. When Connor was in Paris recently, he was looking at the Fendi Interlace Peekaboos for me. The Fendi Interlace Peekaboo in the tan particularly, I put it in a recent vlog of mine, is a bag that I think is a beautiful, it's a trick to the eye, because the work that goes into it, it's all leather work. There's like 400 meters of leather lace in that bag, but it looks from a distance like wicker, and I love wicker. So I'm thinking, what a great bag to have in my collection. It fits with my, penchant for wicker and raffia, but it's next level. It's leather and it's handcrafted and it's beautiful. Now, I could get that bag for around $2,000 less retail price plus the VAT refund if Connor had picked that up for me in Paris, as opposed to purchasing it here in Australia, paying the recommended retail price, goods and services tax, duties and whatever else is included in the recommended retail price here. But when I thought about it, I was saving $2,000, but I was still spending $7,000. And I just went, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I don't want it that much. If I wanted it, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have spent the $7,000 on it here in Australia, or the $9,000 or whatever it was going to be. I would have spent whatever it cost here in Australia. I wouldn't have been hunting around the world to get it for a discount. I just would have bought it. And I think this is something that is that's really impacting my bag collection and how I shop. And as I said, I've got a video coming more on how my luxury shopping has changed and what content I'm watching on YouTube. But in terms of bag creep, what I believe is, I guess, my expectation for a luxury handbag now is in a bracket that is far, far away from what it was when I first started purchasing luxury. And I don't think I'm alone in that. Can you tell me in the comments, has your average expectation for what you will spend on a luxury handbag shifted now? Has it gone up or has it gone down? Have you just gone, this is ridiculous, I'm out of here. I'm going to purchase some more of these low luxury items that are still beautiful, still made incredibly well, still great materials, but they don't have Louis Vuitton written on them. I'd love to know where you're at, because I certainly know in myself that the average purchase price of a bag that I'm buying these days is a hell of a lot more than what it was last year, the year before that. Significantly more. And so I am a victim of the bag creep. As I thought about the thumbnail for this, I'm like, how do I get like bag creep in a thumbnail picture? And that came up as like Michael Jackson's Thriller. Yeah? Does it work? Do you get it? Bag creep? I don't know. Anyway, what do you think? Are you a victim of bag creep, or have you rebelled against bag creep and you're heading the other way? Keep an eye out for my next video on my YouTube. How my luxury YouTube viewing has changed, and my thoughts on luxury. I'd love to see you there. That means just hitting that subscribe button so that you do get notified of when my videos pop up, and the bell, because that makes sure that they hit your feed nice and fresh. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. I'd love to see you back here for more. I put out videos on Wednesdays and Sundays, and sometimes some extras. Until then, ciao.